welcome to this week's edition of The Olive Tree, bringing you the stories of believers living in Israel and the West Bank. I'm Julia Fisher, and today I'm in Tel Aviv talking to Igal, who came to Israel from the Ukraine when he was a young boy. I asked him why his family decided to emigrate.
Because I'm a Jew, we have a lot of antisemitism in Ukraine. So when I was 9 years old, my family decided to emigrate to Israel. And we came here to city Netanya. My parents took me to the school. And because I came from a different culture with a different language, the kids don't want to accept me. And for the next day, they start to curse me, split on me, fight. For me as a boy, it was very hard to understand this and accept, because in Ukraine, the kids in the school was hating me because I'm a Jew and called me a Jew. I came to Israel, I became a Russian, and the kids still hate me. I don't know the reason why. So one day when I had a fight with a boy, his wallet fell on the ground. I took the wallet, opened the wallet, and I see money. And I remember what I told to myself: if I am a Jew, I came to my country, a Jewish country, and they don't want to accept me, when I will be a winner in the fight, I can steal their money. And I started to steal the money. Of course, I stopped going to school and started to be on the streets. After 6 months, I started smoking drugs, light drugs like marijuana. And after almost 3 years, I have a trial with 48 foreigners in the police, and the judge gave me 3 years in prison. And the judge also, she say, only the prison can fix you. But this was a mistake, because I started using hard drugs in jail. I finished when I was 15 years old. I never come back to my parents' house because I was already using drugs, hard drugs. And I became, and my father told me, we came to Israel that you have a good education, that you have a good profession, but you choose to be a gangster and drug addict. So I left my parents' house and I started build my criminal life. And today, as a believer, almost 12 years, I know that Satan gave me everything, because I have a very good success. And I was thinking, because God see my suffering, so he actually blessed me, because I have money, cars, girls, drugs. I buy my new car when I was almost 15 and a half years old. I still don't have driver license, but I buy a car. Yeah, and I was thinking, this is really, God bless me. But I know this was a mistake. And when I was 20 years old, I have another trial, and the judge gave me 10 years. Gave me 5 I need to sit and 5 on parole. And when I was in jail, my friend came visit me in jail, and he shared the gospel. I told him about Yeshua, I told him about Jesus. And my first response was, first of all, I told him, I'm a Jew. What are you talking about? I'm a gangster, I'm a drug addict, and I'm sitting in prison. And how Jesus can fit in this? How he can help me? But this was my friend that we was using drugs together. And I see he was different. I see his eyes. And of course, this was Jesus inside him, but I never understand this. So I told him, I don't know how Jesus can help me. So he looked at me, and he told me, just remember one thing: only Yeshua can give you a new life, and he can change you. And he left. And of course, he was praying for me, because the prayer have amazing power. And how I know that he was praying for me, because the same friend who shared the gospel with me, he's my pastor today. And we're serving in the same church in Netanya. So praise God. Well, I finished the 5 years in prison. I go back to my city. And I have another different situation, because when I was sitting in prison 5 years, the world outside was changed, but I'm the same person what I was before. And for me, it was very hard to steal, to robbery, because people have smartphones. They can record, they can take pictures. So I remember myself sitting in my flat, apartment, of course using drugs. And I start, well, I start cry out to God. And I ask him, okay, that you really exist? I'm a Jew. I was raised, there is a God of the earth. And I told him, where are you? And why I'm born to this world? To be a drug addict, to be in prison, to be homeless. I was like a zombie, you know. From the outside, I have everything, but inside I was empty, and I don't see a purpose to live. So I told him, you know what, if you really exist over there, so just take me or save me, because I don't want to live. And of course, because of drugs, I forgot about this. After 2 weeks, on the night, the police came, took me from my apartment. They took me to the beach, and they beat me very well. And the police officer came to me and he told me, you know, Igal, I know you since you was 9 years old, and you are a good fellow. Well, yeah, a good fellow. And he told me, I know what you're doing, but so far I don't have any improvement to take you to court. But because I know you, I'm ready to give you a chance. I give you 2 days that you need to leave the city. If I will find you after 2 days, if you have 5 years on parole, I will give you 10 years more. So actually, if I was stay in the city, I need to back to jail for 15 years more. And they left. And on the same night, it was 4 in the morning, I remember what my friend told me about Yeshua. I remember what he told me about rehab house running by Jewish believer. And I told him also, okay, give it a try. First of all, it's free. And the Jewish people love everything, it's free. The second of all, I don't have any choice. I need to leave my city. And this is maybe really, he can help. Jesus, that I don't know him, can help me. So in the same morning, I go to Haifa, to the rehabilitation house. In 1 month, I read the whole scripture, the Old Testament, the New Testament. I prayed, accept Christ, because I was feeling something good happened inside to me, because I remember myself, I don't want using drugs, I don't want smoking cigarettes. I feel good, I don't know the reason why. But it was not a real prayer, because I still don't have meet Jesus by himself. So I go to my pastor, the senior pastor, and I told him what I'm feeling. And he told me, it's not a problem. I told him, what do you mean? He told me, okay, take the Bible, take a fast, pray, and God will answer you, because he's a living God. I told him, okay, let's see. I don't know what you're talking about, but I really want to check it. So I take a fast, 3 days, only with water. And on the third day, I took the Bible, I closed my eyes, and I told him, okay, I know there is a God because I'm a Jew. I know that you have a son, Jesus, Yeshua, who died for me, and I believe it, because I feel something good happen inside me. But really, you forgive me for everything I done, and I done a lot. And I took the Bible, I opened the Bible, and the book was opening me on the Jeremiah chapter 33, verse 3, and the verse was, call me, and I will answer you, and show you a mighty great things you never know. And when I read this, my hair was stand up, like dark hair, I don't know how to say it. And I remember myself sitting almost 2 months ago in my apartment and told to God, if you really over there, save me or take me. So he actually saved me. He bring me to his house. I closed the book, and because I'm a Jew, and we as a Jew, we have very hard mind. You can read it from the Old Testament. They always going by the way of God and always go this different way. I took the Bible, I told him, okay, but you really forgive me for everything I've done? Because for me, it was very hard to understand how Yeshua can forgive me for everything, because in the world when I was living, if I did something, police catch me, I have a court, I go to jail. And here, without court, without jail, someone forgive you for everything. It was very hard to accept his forgiveness. So I took the Bible again. I told him, show me you forgive me for everything. Opened the Bible again, and the Bible was opened me when the Old Testament is finished, the New Testament is start, and before the New Testament in the Russian Bibles, we have a white page. I think in the American's Bible the same. And when I see the white page, Yeshua with his wonderful voice, with great voice, he told me, yes, I forgive you. You're my son now. And this is, wow, I feel in love, a lot of weight left on my shoulders. I feel really great. I closed the book. I knelt down on my knees. And I was a new believer. I told him, you know what? Your drug is the best drug that I ever use. And this is drug that I don't need to steal, to robbery. I wake up in the morning, can you give me? And I don't want to leave you. I want to be your server. So since 2006, I serve in God by sharing the gospel with my nation, with the Jewish nation. For me, it's very important to say to the old people, and it's never mind to Gentiles, Muslims, Jewish, Russian, I don't care. I really important to say to them that Jesus came and seek what was lost, and he find it, and he's waiting for you.
You've been listening to Igal, and we'll hear more from him on next week's programme. The Olive Tree Reconciliation Fund is a Christian charity based in the UK that supports the needs of both Jewish believers and Arab or Palestinian Christians living in Israel and the wider Middle East. If you'd like to know more about our work through our bi-monthly newsletter, including news about our upcoming tours, please either visit our website www.olivetreefund.org or write to me, Julia Fisher, OTRF, PO Box 402, Billingshurst, RH 14 4BQ in the UK. Meanwhile, join me at the same time next week for another story from the Olive Tree. Until then, goodbye.